another video.
It looks like Team USA is actually forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous number 22 to a brand new one. And let me tell you, Team USA just made a decision that has basketball fans absolutely incandescently furious. They are forcing, not asking, but forcing Caitlin Clark to give up her iconic number 22. We're talking about the number she has proudly worn throughout her legendary college career and her entire explosive run in the WNBA so far. The backlash to this decision,
Oh, it's brutal.
and it's coming from all sides. Now it feels like Team USA might just be waking up to the fact that they've stepped on the single biggest landmine in all of women's basketball. Before we dive deep into this absolute disaster, I want you to drop a comment right now. Should Caitlin have been allowed to keep her legendary number 22? Or is this just the standard rigid way that Team USA operates? Because I promise you, after what I'm about to break down, your opinion on this whole mess might change, and change real quick.
We ultimately know she was snubbed from the cover of Team USA, and not only is they snubbing her, the disrespect is continuing because it's looking like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her number. Now, this article.
All right, so let's really talk about what just went down here, because this is one of those jaw-dropping situations where you have to seriously wonder if anyone at Team USA headquarters actually thought this through for more than 5 seconds. We're talking about Caitlin Clark, who is without a doubt the biggest name in women's basketball right now. The singular player who single-handedly brought millions upon millions of new fans to the sport. And she is being forced to change her number for the upcoming Team USA training camp. Let me be clear, she was not asked, she was not given the option, she was forced. And the number they're making her switch to, 17, yeah, you heard me right, 17. A number that has absolutely no connection to her, no meaning to her legion of fans, and certainly no place in the incredible legacy she is already building.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a very creative person. I was born on January 22nd, so it's what I went with when I was about 5 years old, so.
Now, before we go any further, let's establish something that is critically important here, because this is the whole crux of the issue. Caitlin Clark's number 22 isn't just some random number on a jersey. It's a brand. It has become a global identity. It's the number she was wearing when she shattered Pete Maravich's all-time college scoring record, a feat people thought was untouchable. It's the number she proudly wore when she led Iowa to back-to-back national championship games, captivating the entire country. It's the number she wore through her entire college career that transformed her from a talented player into a household name. And of course, it's the number she's been wearing with the Indiana Fever as she continues to dominate and break records in the professional ranks. That number 22 is as instantly recognizable in women's basketball today as number 23 is in men's basketball history. When you see 22 on a women's basketball jersey, your brain immediately, without even thinking, goes to Caitlin Clark. That isn't an opinion. That's just a stone-cold fact.
The case to be made that Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number in women's sports right now. There's no argument to be made. There's no case to be made. Caitlin Clark, number 22, is the most recognizable number for any.
But apparently, the folks over at Team USA somehow didn't get that memo. Or, and this is even worse, they got the memo, read it, and then just decided they didn't care. Because when the official roster was announced for the December training camp happening in North Carolina, there it was in black and white for the whole world to see. Caitlin Clark, number 17, not 22, but 17. And in that moment, the entire basketball world collectively lost its mind. And here's where this situation goes from being just questionable to being completely and utterly ridiculous. When you look at the full roster for this training camp, guess what? Nobody else is wearing number 22. The number is literally available. It is sitting there, completely open. It's not like A'ja Wilson is on this specific roster rocking 22, and they had to make a tough choice between two superstar players. It's not like there was some longtime veteran Team USA player who's been wearing 22 for a decade and has seniority. The number is just sitting there, completely unused, and they still made Caitlin switch. I mean, please. Make that make sense. Go ahead, I'll wait. The only logical explanation anyone can possibly come up with is that Team USA has some arbitrary, archaic rule about number assignments based on seniority, or previous Team USA experience, or some other bureaucratic nonsense that prioritizes outdated tradition over basic common sense. And you know what? That's exactly the kind of tone-deaf thinking that gets major organizations into massive trouble. Because while they're sitting in their offices, patting themselves on the back for following some obscure rule, they're completely missing the bigger picture about what Caitlin Clark represents to the sport and its fit.
Say Caitlin Clark to wear number 17 at Team USA training camp. On December 24th, news broke that Caitlin Clark will be taking a part in the training, which that's what we talked about at the beginning of the video. Now, this right here this came out this came out on the 24th. So these are the numbers, man. Head on over to Twitter and check this out real quick. So this is what was released right here. It says Lauren Betts. Hold on, here's the ages. Where's the number? Here we go, right here. So these are the numbers. Caitlin Clark. Let me blow this all the way up, man. I want to blow this all the way up so y'all can see this. So as y'all can see there, man, how did Caitlin Clark number will be changed? So who's wearing 22? Or if you guys remember, Michael Jordan wore number 45 in the Olympics. Caitlin, because it don't look like no one's wearing number 22.
Let's really talk about the optics here for a second, because this is just staggering. This is the very same Team USA organization that controversially left Caitlin off the Olympic roster earlier this year, right? The same organization that claimed they were prioritizing experience and veteran leadership, while the entire basketball world watched in sheer disbelief as the most popular player in the history of women's basketball got snubbed. And now, when they finally do bring her into the fold for a training camp, what's the very first thing they do? They strip her of her iconic number. Yeah, that's not just a bad look, it's a terrible self-sabotaging look. It's the kind of look that makes people think Team USA either fundamentally doesn't understand Caitlin's monumental value to the sport, or even worse, they understand it perfectly, and they're actively trying to diminish it. Because here's the reality that Team USA seems to be completely missing. Caitlin Clark is bigger than Team USA right now. That isn't meant as disrespect to Team USA or any of the other incredible players who've worn the red, white, and blue. It's just acknowledging the unprecedented culture-shifting impact Caitlin has had on women's basketball in the last few years. She's brought millions of new eyeballs to the game. She's filled arenas that used to be half empty. She's made women's LOL basketball and the WNBA must-watch television. And a massive part of that brand identity is that number 22 on her back. So when Team USA forces her to change that number, even if it's just for a training camp, they're sending a message to all those new fans that Caitlin brought to the sport, that their connection to her doesn't matter, that the brand she's meticulously built doesn't matter, that the identity she's created doesn't matter. Why? Because Team USA has its rules. And rules are rules. And who cares if those rules make absolutely zero sense in this specific context? And let's be real about something else here. This isn't just about feelings or branding. This is about maximizing the commercial appeal of women's basketball. Because whether Team USA wants to admit it or not, Caitlin Clark in a number 22 Team USA jersey would sell merchandise like nothing they've ever seen before. Parents would be lining up to buy those jerseys for their kids who idolize Caitlin. Fans would want that collectible item that connects her legendary college and WNBA career to her international career. But Caitlin Clark in a number 17 Team USA jersey, that's just gonna confuse people. It creates a weird disconnect between the player they know and love and the uniform she's wearing, and that disconnect is going to cost Team USA money whether they realize it now or late. Now, some people might argue this is just how international basketball works, that FIBA has rules, that Team USA has traditions, and that no one player is bigger than the team. And you know what? Under normal circumstances, that argument might hold some water. But these are not normal circumstances. We're not talking about a normal player here. We are talking about a generational talent who has fundamentally changed the entire landscape of women's basketball. Someone who has brought unprecedented attention and revenue to the sport. And the backlash has been exactly what you'd expect. Social media exploded with criticism the moment that roster with the numbers was released. Fans were furious, analysts were confused, and even people who aren't normally invested in women's basketball were weighing in on how ridiculous this decision seemed. Because from the outside looking in, it just looks like Team USA is going out of their way to make things difficult for their biggest star. What's even more frustrating is that Team USA had a chance to get this right. After the Olympic snub, they had an opportunity to show they understand Caitlin's value. They could have made a huge deal about bringing her into camp, given her the respect she's earned, and let her wear the number synonymous with her career. Instead, they did the exact opposite, creating another controversy that makes them look completely out of touch. And here's the thing Team USA probably isn't considering. This training camp is going to have a ton of media attention, not because of the camp itself, but because Caitlin Clark is there. Reporters will be asking about the number. Fans will be commenting on it. Every story will mention that Caitlyn had to give up her iconic tour. That's not the narrative Team USA wants, but it's the one they've created. You also have to wonder how this is playing out behind the scenes with her sponsors, her agent, and even the other players who know that Caitlyn's popularity benefits all of them. A rising tide lifts all boats, and Caitlyn Clark is the biggest tide in women's basketball history. The comparison to A'ja Wilson, who also wears 22, is totally irrelevant here because A'ja isn't even on this training camp roster. The number was free. This instant regret isn't an exaggeration. Team USA is already feeling the heat, and the camp hasn't even started. They had a chance to embrace their biggest star and generate massive positive attention. Instead, they chose bureaucracy over common sense, and now they're dealing with angry fans, negative press, and a storyline that makes them look petty and small. So there you have it. Team USA forced Caitlyn Clark to ditch her legendary 22 for number 17, and the basketball world is not having it. Was this decision justified, or is Team USA completely missing the point? Let me know exactly what you think in the comment. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of Team USA's latest mess, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe for more basketball content. I'll catch you on the next one.